If you're wondering why the empath in your life went quiet, I need you to understand something. They didn't wake up one day and decide to cut you off. What looked sudden to you was slow for them, and by the time they went silent, something inside them had already shifted in a way that can't be undone. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through what happened in the time before the silence, not to blame you, not to make you feel guilty, to help you understand what you couldn't see while it was happening. And here are 2 promises, so you stay with me. First, I'm going to show you the exact moment the empath decided silence was safer than speaking. It's not when you think. Second, near the end, I'll tell you the one thing that might still reach them, if anything can. But I'll also tell you why it might be too late. But before we get there, let's start with what silence means when it comes from an empath. Because it's not anger, it's not punishment, it's finality. Here's what most people don't understand about empaths. They don't leave after one bad thing. They leave after 1,000 small things that all said the same message: your feelings don't matter here. Let me show you what that looks like. They told you they needed space and you made it about you. They said something hurt and you said they were too sensitive. They showed you a wound and you told them it wasn't that deep. They asked for less and you kept taking more. And each time they absorbed it. They rationalized it. They told themselves maybe you didn't mean it. Maybe they were overreacting. Maybe if they just explained it better, you'd understand. But here's what was happening underneath. Every time they spoke and weren't heard, their nervous system logged it. Not consciously, physiologically. And then one day, mid-conversation, mid-relationship, mid-sentence even, something inside them goes still. They stop trying to make you understand. They stop explaining. They stop hoping you'll suddenly see them, and that's when the silence begins. Not because they hate you, because their system finally realized, this person cannot hold me safely. When I say something irreversible has happened, I don't mean the empath is being dramatic. I mean their nervous system has reclassified you. You've moved from safe to unsafe, from someone they could be vulnerable with to someone they need protection from. And here's the part that's hard to hear. Once that shift happens, it doesn't unhappen. You can apologize. You can promise to change. You can say all the right things. But their body remembers what their mind might want to forgive. Let me give you the internal sequence. First, there's the accumulation. Months, maybe years of small betrayals. Times you dismissed them. Times you made them feel dramatic for having needs. Times you were inconsistent, hot then cold, present then absent. Times you took their sensitivity for granted. Second, there's the moment of recognition. It's quiet, often unremarkable. You say something you've said 100 times before, but this time, instead of trying to make you understand, they just stop. They see clearly, maybe for the first time, that you're not going to change. Not really, not in the way they need, not. Third, there's the withdrawal. They don't announce it. They don't make a scene, they just start pulling their energy back. Fewer texts, shorter answers, less emotional availability. And if you're not paying attention, you might not even notice until they're already gone. Quick check-in. If you're the person being left in silence, does this sound familiar? Did you notice them trying to tell you something was wrong before they stopped trying altogether? Most people say no, because they weren't listening for whispers, they were waiting for screams. And empaths don't scream, they disappear. People always ask, what was the final straw? What was the thing that made them go silent? And the answer is, it wasn't a thing, it was a realization. The empath realized they were doing all the emotional labor. They were the one checking in, the one remembering details, the one making space for your feelings while their own went unnoticed, the one bending, adjusting, shrinking to keep the connection alive. And then they asked themselves a question they'd been avoiding. What would happen if I stopped? So they tested it. They stopped reaching out first. They stopped asking how you were. They stopped managing your emotions. And here's what broke them. You didn't notice. Or worse, you noticed and felt relieved. That's when the silence became permanent. Not because they wanted to punish you, because they finally saw the truth. You were comfortable with them doing all the work. And the moment they stopped, the relationship stopped too. While you're wondering why they went quiet, here's what's happening on their side. They're grieving. Not just the relationship, the version of themselves who thought if they just loved you harder, gave you more, understood you better, you'd finally meet them halfway. They're resting. For the first time in maybe years, they're not managing anyone's emotions but their own, and it feels like their nervous system can finally exhale. They're recalibrating, relearning what their energy is for, who deserves access to it, what real reciprocity looks like. And they're protecting something fragile, the part of them that still believes connection can be safe. Because if they let you back in before they've healed, they know exactly what will happen. They'll fall back into the same pattern, the same role, the same exhaustion. So the silence isn't cruelty, it's self-preservation. Here's the question most people ask when an empath goes silent: how do I get them back? But that's the wrong question. The better question is, why did they have to leave to feel safe? Because here's the truth. If an empath went silent on you, it's not because you had one bad day. It's because they gave you 100 chances to see them and you missed everyone. They told you in small ways and big ways what they needed. And you didn't listen. Or you listened and forgot. Or you listened and decided their needs were inconvenient. And now they're gone. And you're wondering if there's a way back. Maybe there is. But it's not through grand gestures. It's not through apologies that promise change without demonstrating it. It's through something much harder. Actually becoming the person they needed you to be before they left. If you want to know what could still reach an empath who's gone silent, here it is. Consistent, quiet proof that you've changed. Not words, actions over time, without expecting them to come back while you're still figuring it out. Respect their silence. Don't demand explanations. Don't guilt them. Don't make their boundary about you. Show them through how you move in the world that you finally understand what they were trying to tell you. And even then, it might not be enough. Because some things, once broken, don't mend the same way. Some silences are final, not because the empath is unforgiving, but because they've finally learned that their peace matters more than your comfort. If an empath went silent on you, don't wait for them to break. Don't expect them to reach out. Don't assume time will soften them. They've already spent too much time trying to make it work. Too much energy explaining what should have been obvious. Too much of themselves hoping you'd notice. And the silence, it's not the beginning of a conversation. It's the end of one. So if you're on the receiving end of an empath's silence, here's what I want you to sit with. They didn't leave because they stopped caring. They left because caring was costing them everything, and you didn't notice until they were gone. That's not coldness, that's survival. And the irreversible thing that happened, it's not that they stopped loving you. It's that they finally started protecting themselves.